My next guest is Jessie Golden, and she has an inspirational story that all of us can learn from. She has rheumatoid arthritis, and she's been on a healing journey of her own. But a big part of that journey was about self-love. Check it out and let me know what you think.
When we put our, do our makeup or we look in the mirror, we're always pointing out the negative,
The flaws,
the
right? Yeah.
flaws. And it's
Yeah.
like, what would happen if we took that moment to say, I am beautiful, I am glowing, I am radiant, I am worthy, and just start to kind of rewire that
Mm-hmm.
brain. Um, and I feel like you can spot those people a mile away. It has nothing to do with how many wrinkles they have or don't have, or they have this inner radiance and glow that exudes from the inside out. So that's kind of what I try. And I always say it's like going beyond the skin. Like, yes, I
Mm-hmm.
believe in organic beauty and Mother Nature, but can we take that moment and really do the work?
And so for many women out there who are listening, life gets in the way. There's just a lot going on any given day, any given moment. You add a child to it, you had two, you had three, you had four, you had parents, animals, spouses, partners, whatever. It's constant. So how do we find those moments? How have you been able to find those moments with everything you were going through? Is there a routine or a ritual you sort of stick to? Are there non-negotiables that you have? Just for the women's sitting somewhere listening and being like, that sounds amazing, but how do I do it? What would you say to them?
Well, I realized as a single mother that I am no good at all if I don't take care of myself.
Yeah.
Because I've gone down the road of completely ignoring my own self and destroying myself, and then I'm no good. So making an appointment, like exactly like you said, non-negotiable, making an appointment with yourself every single day, like you would any other appointment, and giving as
Mm-hmm.
much respect as you would any other person, and give that self, give that time to yourself. And you could do micro, like I do micro rituals throughout the day where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm going to go outside with my coffee and open my eyes to the sky and get some sun, or touch my feet to the ground, or I'm going to do some gua sha tonight and do a little facial mask and give myself some love. But also for like moms that have like younger children, like you can incorporate your children in these beautiful
Yeah.
things. And I think by leading by example and teaching them that it's not selfish. We need to take care of ourselves. Like self-love is vital. It's not something that we can do every once in a while. Our body will start giving us signals if we don't. So
Yeah.
it's better to be proactive and just start taking care of ourselves.
I think self-love is a form, it's a superpower, right? I mean, I think that when we ignore it, so it's been interesting observing the women before me in our family, right? Many of them, because they didn't have options, made those sacrificial lamb choices, right? Like, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing it for the family, whatever choices they made, but it's the model that they probably saw, right? A generation prior to that. But what happens is that you walk away. I've watched these women, in our family, older women, walk away angry and resentful and not in their full expression of their power. And it has nothing to do with age. It has to do with choices and the inability to say, this is what I need and this is what I want. And these are the things I'm going to go after. And a lifetime of those add up. And I think it really does create, a resentment and an anger that you can't take back sometimes. So I think that, so many women think that they're selfish, they're neglecting their families, they're neglecting their husbands or their spouses or whoever. And it's really hard. They have a lot of guilt. I remember talking to a woman who I'm like, well, why don't you have someone help you drive your children to school? Oh, the women in our family don't do that, so it's just those type of things that many of us have been raised with or we believe in that ultimately make us sick, and I think that we've got to figure out a way around that. So I love that, like a non-negotiable appointment with yourself. I think micro rituals. I haven't actually heard that term before. I like that term a lot.
I just made that up, but
I love it. Micro rituals. I was thinking that. I was like, that is brilliant because yes, it's the tiny little things you do all day long that bring joy to you as you move through whatever it is you're supposed to do, So for me, it'd be drinking tea. Like I look forward to my morning tea and my afternoon tea. Those are my micro rituals that I just can't wait, whatever exercise routine, but there's something I do that I look forward to like every single day. But those are ways to express self-love to you. And I agree with you. Like if we're not taking care of ourselves, then we're going to be those angry, resentful people. And who wants to be around that? You end up pushing everybody away and nobody wants to be around you, you know? So such important work. And then you have a book too. And I know we're getting close to time. So I want to talk about your book, The Golden Secrets to Optimal Health. Tell me a little bit about what you put in your book and what the purpose of the book is.
Yeah. Simultaneously, when I was starting my blog, I was realizing that I needed to write this book. It was like a download that I
Yeah.
had. And what I love so much about this book is I definitely share my personal story in the beginning, but then I kind of walk you through all the different modalities. A lot of them are more common now, but when I originally wrote the book, they're very holistic. I even get into color therapy and crystal therapy and sound therapy, which still isn't talked about that often.
Mhm.
But very basic things like diet and I have reflection pages where I ask you questions so you can specifically find out what is going to be good for you. I like looking into your heritage, where your ancestors are from, what where you live, what grows in season where you live, what ailments you have, any allergies, your blood type, your dosha. Looking into all of those
Yeah.
different things because I think everybody's different, you know, as far as diet, and I share all different kinds of tinctures and reflection pages. The whole book leads you to dive in to your own knowingness and
Mm.
get those questions. So it's one of I always say my book was my second child because it was it
I always say
yeah,
that too. I always say that. It's like having a kid.
yeah,
So,
it was tough birth. It was
yeah.
probably even tougher. But it's one of my favorite things to be able to offer the world.